if Connor Bedard becomes a reality for this team, maybe there's value in that, having Patrick Kane be around Connor Bedard, having them play off of each other. Maybe there's value in that. I
Yeah.
just don't know if it's a guarantee. They control what their future is going to be.
This is just me talking. If they don't ask for a trade this year, I'm done. I'm not mad about it, but I'm just happy to say good luck in free agency. Good luck with the next part of your career. We'll start getting the molds made of your statues. We'll start stitching your banners, hopefully with the right font this time. And as soon as you guys are ready to call it a career, you have whatever you want in this organization for the rest of your lives. You will be remembered as Blackhawks. You'll be at every game on the scoreboard, shaking hands, kissing babies in the press box. But in terms of the on ice, I'm ready to move on from both of them. And yeah, they've got to spend some money to get to the cap floor. But part of me just thinks it is time to tear off that Band-Aid. Maybe this is a nice, full show topic for, an off day or something like that. But I don't know. I've just gotten to that point, and I wonder if any of our listeners or any of our viewers have kind of the same thought, because I think we've gone through already the emotions of imagining a Blackhawks team without Toews and Kane. And yeah, it does suck that it's over, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's over. The dynasty's over. Like, and the worst thing you can do, and Theo Epstein said this, and it always sticks with me: do not pay for past performance. That's a mistake. And I feel like for the money you'd be signing Toews and Kane for to come back, you could probably bring in guys who are younger, who could potentially be part of the future. I mean, Dylan Larkin's sitting out there. If Detroit doesn't re-sign him, I don't know how they don't, but Dylan Larkin's an option. How about you give the money you're going to give to Kane and Toews and give it to David Pasternak and have him be the star? You know what I mean? It's unlikely, but like, wouldn't you, if you're going to just spend to spend, don't just bring back ambassadors to play on the ice. You don't need two Reggie Dunlops out there. I want guys it's time to move on from the glory days of the 2010s, which were the best era in Hawks history. And if it wasn't for them, you and I and Greg, and we would just not be here. We wouldn't have this job. I wouldn't have written a book. I wouldn't have had all, you know what I mean? Like, it just wouldn't exist without those teams. However, at some point, you've got to just do it. You've got to just say, we're ready to take the next step. We're ready to start the next era of Blackhawks hockey. And the fact that both of their contracts expire at the end of this year gives the Hawks a real easy opportunity to do that, either at the trade deadline or just letting them walk away. And it would suck to lose both those guys for nothing. But when you look back on it, it wasn't for nothing. It was for 3 Stanley Cups, and it was for a lifetime of memories, and it was for all those wonderful things. And after March 3rd, if they're still here, the rest of this season becomes the farewell tour for Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane, where they're honored at every game. They are, standing ovationed off the ice, however you want to do it. The last home game of the season becomes a ceremony for those two. But I don't know. I'm speaking for myself. I'm ready. I'm ready to tear the Band-Aid off and move on.
Yeah. I mean, those are completely fair points. I think if it comes to that point, I have a hard time seeing Kyle Davidson telling them, no, we're not going to re-sign you. I have a hard time seeing that. But I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I think if it were me, I would entertain a 2 to 3 year, window to re-sign them. Maybe, if they were open to that, if they wanted to say, let's ride it one more time and see what happens next season, I wouldn't want to do that. I think if they don't want to be traded and they want to talk about, their futures this off season and kind of figure things out from there, it's got to be for more than just a year. Cause I don't want to do the will they, won't they, whatever, again next year on 1 year deals. I would want to say, if you're saying that you want to, hop on the ride with the rest of us, it's going to be for 2 or 3 years. And I don't know if Toews has 2 or 3 more years left. Patrick Kane definitely does.
Okay. So that's Kane I can get behind. I'm watching Jonathan Toews play, and 3 weeks ago I called him the team's MVP on lchgo.com, and since then I'm not equating it. I'm just saying he's a non-factor. Yeah, he's dominant at the faceoff dot. So is the whole team. And what has it gotten him? Like there's nothing I see. Like take the jersey off, put a mask on his face. You don't know who it is. You watch that guy play. Is that a guy you want for 2 more years, 3 more years? I don't think so. And I don't think he's going to be happy in a second, third line center role. And I don't know. To me, it just feels like time, especially for Toews. If Kane wants to come back for a year or two and chase some records and be a mentor, cool. But I'm ready. Greg, I know you've been maybe eavesdropping on our conversation. We'd love to get you to chime in here. No, I think we just lost.
Nah, never mind.
He says no way. I don't know. Yeah. I guess he's having issues today, so we'll I don't know, maybe just leave him off for the rest of the show.
We'll try again.
Technology to let you down in the year of our Lord 2023.
Yeah, it happens.
I'm frustrated and I promise y'all, Greg is very frustrated that he can't be part of this, and we're frustrated for him and with him. Because there's nothing shittier than when technology fails you.
Right, exactly.
So
one thing I did want to say though to the point you brought up, Jay, maybe there is an opportunity for Jonathan Toews to, because it sounds like from everything he's kind of said without saying, and from what people who claim to have knowledge close to him have said, it seems like he is interested in, if he were to be traded or to go with another organization, it seems like he's interested in just not being the guy all the time anymore. Is there, I ponder if there's a possibility for him to do that while still in Chicago, because as we're going through the rebuild process, if he were to say, look, I'll sign a 2-year deal, like it's not unheard of that teams have had a captain on the roster, and then that guy was no longer the captain and stayed on the roster. San Jose did it. Winnipeg is doing it this year, or has done it this year. And as far as I know, that hasn't caused locker room turmoil. Is there a way that, Jonathan Toews could stick around, not have to be the captain, play a role on this team, and still be able to bring leadership and experience as the next generation comes up? If he's interested in doing that, he could do it in Chicago. Again, I qualify all of this by saying it's up to both of those guys what they want to do.
Yeah. I mean, sure, it's possible. To me, that's tough because if you walk up to someone in Chicago and say, the captain, everyone knows who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so it's almost synonymous with him. And it's one of, when you do, the Hall of Fame plaque, the term captain will be in there several times.
Well,
right?
yes. Yeah, of course. You're not erasing that.
Of course. But I think him specifically, considering how young he was when he got it, how successful he's been while wearing it, that would be a tough it would have to be him to say, I have decided I want to stay and help this team. At the same time, I have chosen to pass on my captaincy to the younger generation, and I will help that captain in their new role. I like that. Here's the thing. That guy's not here yet. Right?
Sure.
Maybe it's Connor Bedard or Adam Fantilli or whoever they pick in this draft. Maybe. But Toews probably wouldn't even do that until after next year if he's back. Because you've got to see if either of those guys have the sort of qualities you want from a captain. Because we don't really know. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, a lot of times young players are the best player on their team, therefore the captain. But what happens when a guy comes to the NHL? Does he have those leadership qualities? And that's why Toews, for the first year, wasn't the Hawks captain. Then it was very clear, maybe 20, 30 games into the season, that it was, oh, God, this guy's going to be the captain for the next decade. It was just obvious. It was just obvious. So if that guy exists, I think it'd be weird if he was like, I'm going to give it to Connor Murphy.
Right. Yeah. You wouldn't give it to you wouldn't give it to a veteran. You would give it to who you would think would be the next guy. Or yeah. I think there is a way to do it. I just don't know if it would be possible. He would have, like you said, he would have to be around for 2 to 3 more years, and I don't know if he has. I don't know if he wants that or if he can do that.